and cook. Hi, I'm Yogi Marlon, and today we're going to do trout stuffed with herbs and orange rind that is sauteed really gently on the stove, and we're going to serve that with a little bit of cucumber parsnip relish on the side. Parsnip is a very underused vegetable. It's fantastic. Looks like a white carrot, but it tastes like parsley. It's really delicious. It's the secret to good chicken soup. And then we're going to serve that with a highly nutritious, beautiful crown of broccoli. So let's get started. Right here I have two really beautiful pieces of trout. Look at that. When you shop for any fish, and I do recommend using whole fish when you can, because it retains the flavor and the moisture more when you cook it. So you're going to look for a clear eye as much as possible, and then what the fisherman will do is he'll take all the guts out for you, and it leaves me this huge cavity to do something really unusual, and that is that I've scored an orange, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to lift off the rind, like that. And I'm going to put those inside. The first one's a little tough to get started, but just pull them on off and put them in. That's enough for that one. Let's unfold this guy and put the orange slices in there as well. And actually, I'm going to put them face down so that oil in the rind has direct contact. Now, of course, I've cleaned off my orange before I've done this. In addition, I have some lemon thyme left over from another recipe, and I'm going to fit that right in between. And I would say this about this recipe: if you love lemongrass, go ahead and use it. If you've got some you've got some fresh basil or Thai basil hanging around from another recipe, go ahead and use it. I would stay clear of maybe herbs that are really strong, like oregano or that's the only one that really comes to mind, or rosemary. They're too strong for this. And then I'm going to also take some whole pieces of parsley. I'm going to put those in. I'm just going to fold it. And when I get there, parsley. Now this you will also be able to put on the grill. Okay, how about that? And then got a little bit of salt for each of them. And of course, can't seem to live without a little bit of black pepper. Fantastic. Okay, now I'm just going to close those up. I'm going to take a big piece of twine up. This is unbleached twine. Little bundle. Okay, and then one more down here. I usually will do this kind of thing with a roast. Okay, and I'll snip off the excess so that it's not drinking up my sauce and getting in the way. A pan. Here's the trick. Heat the pan. I've got it on medium heat. I'll jack it up just a little bit to get it going. Heat the pan, add the oil, and then put the ingredients in. That's the thing that's going to help food not stick. I do not recommend non-stick coatings. If you want to get really convinced that you shouldn't be using a non-stick coating, go into Google and type in the words bird and that brand that you know, non-stick coating, right? And you will get a list, a yard long, of anecdotal incidents and stories of people who own birds that their birds suddenly die And what they attribute it to is using pans with nonstick coating. It emits a gas that we can't smell, but it's highly, highly toxic. Go with a really good pan, like an All-Clad. Buy them once in your life and you'll have them forever. First I'm going to turn it down because it's good and hot now, and I don't want the oil to burn. I'm going to go with just a tablespoon of olive oil and swirl it around. It's good and hot. I just want tiny little searing of that skin. Now here's the noise that you want to hear. Let's put them in there so they're kissing. Love you. I would give that about 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, just to get it a little bit brown. When you create this kind of tiny little burnt bits on something, it gives it a very rich flavor. We're going to add some liquid, and then those little bits will get incorporated into a sauce that's going to be, it's really going to be a saute. We're not going to poach it with too much, and we're not going to fry it. Okay? Let's help it along just a little bit. I'll put the lid on so it's slightly ajar. I've got it on medium high. So the question is, what am I going to use as a liquid? I'm going to use a little bit of vegetable stock that I had in the freezer. I always had that little bit of liquid that's going to give it a lot more flavor than just putting a little bit of water. So let's check the sizzle over here. Let's see. There we go. Come on, baby. See, just that little bit of brownness. That's what I'm looking for. I think I have a better tool for that. There we go. We wrinkled a piece of skin there, but no big deal at all. So let's let that go for a little bit more. Remember, it's only a tablespoon of oil. It's almost nothing. Good. Starting to smoke. That tells me that the bottom is definitely brown. I'm going to lower that. I'm going to carefully take that lid off because it might be hot now. Or actually, you know what? I'm not going to bother to flip it because I know it's browning in the side. And I'm going to put in some of my vegetable stock. Give that baby a little jiggle. A lot of it will steam off. No problem there. And let's put the lid back on. Now we'll check it in a little while and we'll see if it needs just a little bit more vegetable stock. I don't want to put it too far up on the fish because then it's going to poach. And I really don't want that. Now look at how brown that is already, okay? Because it's picking up that brown color from the bottom. A little shake. Okay, so let's go back to our trout. Let's see if it's getting dry in there. Yeah, it looks okay. I'm going to give them a turn and put the other side down. Oh, look at that nice color. Let's go for a couple of more minutes. I think I'm just going to take a peek and see how done it is in the middle there so that I know how much more time I might need. Let's see. You know, kids, I'm thinking we are absolutely there. So let's do it. He who hesitates is lost when it comes to fish. So, whoop. On enough. I need a little help. Let's put my plate down there so I can use 2 utensils. I really want to serve this all in one piece. It's a lot more fragile now and it's cooked. Come on, take your head. Oh, he lost his head. Alright, we'll have to reattach him. Now, okay, speaking of heads, what is this about Americans being freaked out about a fish with a head on it? You know, if you ordered a fish in Europe and it didn't have the head attached, some people would send it back. So, should we come right here? A little chutney. I'm very excited about this invention. Oh, yes. That is terrific. Just a little something. I love the idea of this really refreshing cucumber parsnip next to this kind of like, you know, rich flavor of the trout. Nice contrast. I want to get every bit of dressing out of there. That's great. And yes, I can tell just by looking at it that it's just the right color. And over, there it goes. Okay, isn't that a really lovely and really quick dinner for 2? So I'm going to unbind my little trout babies here and see how they look. We probably want to do this in the kitchen before you serve it. Let's just unwind that one. Just a little snip. Comes right off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up and I'm just going to take out all these herbs because they have done their job. If you want to, they're completely edible. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm just going to discard them today. Alright. So, let's give it a little taste. See how that is. Nice and flaky. That's a good thing. Mm. Oh, that's delicious. That's wonderful. They don't really pick out any specific herb. It just kind of like, you know, just kind of heightens the flavor of the trout.
I just know you will find you'll be cooking all the time.